Yale seeks a Trump administration deal in an inquiry over race in admissions, and that headline tells you something important is shifting in the ongoing battle between the White House and America's elite universities. Here's what we know. The Trump administration has launched a wide-ranging investigation into Yale University, looking at whether its admissions practices violate anti-discrimination laws. And Yale, rather than dig in for a fight, has quietly hired a high-powered law firm and is already at the negotiating table. The Justice Department fired the first public shot back in May, when it accused Yale's medical school of giving illegal preferential treatment to Black and Hispanic applicants. But according to 3 people briefed on the matter, the investigation doesn't stop there. Federal scrutiny is also reaching into Yale's undergraduate and law school admissions, a scope far broader than what's been publicly acknowledged. The department's core argument centers on the Supreme Court's 2023 ruling that effectively banned race-conscious admissions. The administration says that means universities may not consider race in any way, not in essays, not in interviews, not anywhere. Many schools disagree, pointing to language in Chief Justice John Roberts' own opinion, which said applicants could still discuss how race affected their lives. That interpretive gap is at the heart of nearly every dispute between the administration and elite campuses right now. So why is Yale moving quickly toward a settlement instead of fighting back? The short answer is Harvard. Yale has watched Harvard resist the administration's demands, face a lawsuit, and find itself in a prolonged, public, and costly standoff. Yale doesn't want that. The university recently submitted a settlement proposal to the government, and it has turned to McGuire Woods, the same law firm that helped the University of Virginia reach a deal last year that came with no financial penalties. That's a meaningful signal about what Yale is hoping to achieve. Now, reaching a deal isn't painless either. Schools that have signed agreements with the Trump administration, Columbia, Northwestern, Cornell, and others, have faced serious backlash from their own students, faculty, and alumni, who accuse them of capitulating to political pressure. So any agreement Yale reaches will carry its own costs internally. What makes Yale's situation a little unusual is how quietly it had been handled until now. Unlike Harvard or UCLA, Yale never had hundreds of millions in research funding threatened. Unlike Brown or Penn, it wasn't forced to the table through financial pressure. The administration largely left Yale alone, even expressing cautious encouragement over how the university handled campus protests related to anti-Semitism. That relatively low profile is now over. The Justice Department's May letter lays out some of its evidence, a statistical analysis of testing data that it says shows a Black applicant was far more likely to receive a medical school interview than a similarly qualified Asian candidate. The department also points to a presentation slide it claims suggests admissions staff were given verbal instructions to use race in their decisions, instructions that were deliberately not put in writing. Yale, for its part, says it is confident in its admissions process. But confidence and a federal investigation don't coexist comfortably, which is likely why settlement talks are already underway. It's worth remembering this isn't the first time Yale has been in the Justice Department's crosshairs. Back in 2020, during Trump's first term, the department sued Yale over its undergraduate admissions. Yale fought back, denied the claims, and the Biden administration eventually dropped the case entirely. This time, the legal landscape is different. The Supreme Court has already ruled, and the political will inside the administration appears stronger. Whether Yale can thread the needle, reaching a deal that satisfies federal demands without triggering a campus revolt, remains to be seen, but the story is moving fast, and the outcome could set another precedent for how universities across the country navigate this new era of scrutiny. That's the latest from Yale and Washington. Stay tuned as this one develops.